Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I am here today at the James Julia Auction House, taking a look at some of the guns that they're selling in their upcoming October of 2015 auction. And I found something down here that jumped out at me because we did a video just recently about a predecessor to this revolver. So this was made by the Massachusetts Arms Company, and the first version of this is known as the Wesson Leavitt Dragoon revolver. Not very many of them were made, about 1,000 in 1850, 1851. They were a 40 caliber, 6-shot, army-style, belt revolver. Unfortunately, they had a number 3, in fact, different features on them that were violations of existing Colt patents. So they had little walls between the percussion cap nipples to prevent cross-firing. And when you cocked the hammer, that automatically rotated the cylinder, and these were things that Colt had patented. And Colt noticed that Wesson & Leavitt was making this and filed a lawsuit and got them shut down, or rather got their production of that revolver shut down. So what Wesson & Leavitt did was they redesigned the gun and they made it kind of less practical, but more legal. So they got rid of all of these features. And what they developed instead, what they released to the market was this updated version of the gun. This is 31 caliber. This is the belt model. There was also a 28 caliber pocket version. And on this one, you no longer, actually you don't use metallic primers at all. It uses a Maynard tape primer, and you have to manually index the cylinder. So let me show you exactly how that works. It's, like I said, it's less practical, but it's pretty cool because it's different. All right, this later 31 caliber version is really quite a lot smaller and really handier, more pleasant in the hand than the original 40 caliber Wesson & Leavitt's. However, the mechanics of the general assembly are pretty much the same. We still have this hook holding the barrel down onto the access pin. Push the button right there, and you can pivot this out of the way. There's a locking wedge that comes through the top here, through the access pin, that makes sure everything stays in place. Now this one is kind of stuck, and I'm not sure why. I don't want to force it. The barrel should pivot open around this point, which then allows you to take the cylinder off. Like I said, this one's a little sticky. Not sure why. I don't want to force it. I'm more interested in the action here anyway. So you'll notice when I cock and drop the hammer, the cylinder does not move. Of course, they had to get rid of that functionality because Colt had patented it. What they replaced it with was this little button under the trigger guard. When you push this up, it releases the cylinder lock. Then the cylinder can spin. So what you do after you've fired around is you push the button, start to rotate it. You can then let go of the button and just rotate the cylinder until it snaps into place like that. Now you're in position to fire a shot. So it doesn't automatically rotate, but it does index. So you don't have to try and line it up and hold it in place by hand. Now the second thing that they had to do, or they didn't necessarily have to, but the easiest way they found to get around Colt's patent was to simply get rid of the percussion cap use altogether. They replaced it with the use of a Maynard tape primer. Now unlike their work with Colt, they licensed Maynard's patent. And you can see there on that side plate, it actually says Maynard's patent. You take this little gripping surface, pull it down, and we have an opening for a tape primer. If you've ever used a little kid's cap gun with those rolls of paper caps, that's kind of exactly what a Maynard tape primer is, except instead of being intended just to make some noise and be used in a toy, that was an actual priming mechanism. So you'd have a roll of paper tape in here with percussion fulminate on it. You would then pull it up through this slot so that a spot of priming compound was sitting over the nipple here. Once it's there, then you fire the gun. Boom. Gun fires, detonates. We then hit our button, rotate to the next cylinder. So while cocking the hammer doesn't automatically index the cylinder, it does rotate this little wheel, and you can see the 2 flat springs in that tape primer compartment. What this does is automatically feed it automatically feeds the paper tape the correct distance so that you get a new spot of priming compound under the hammer. So you don't have to manually pull this tape with each shot. And once you fire a round, basically the explosion of the primer gets rid of the excess paper. So you don't really have a length of tape coming out because it gets blown off every time you fire, but you do have this nice store of plenty of caps inside there to use kind of automatically. So the Maynard tape primer was used for a little while. It did lose out in general to metallic caps. Of course, the tape primer is not waterproof. The metallic caps were. That was a big point in their favor. In total, only about 1,000 of these revolvers were made, plus about another 900 of the 28 caliber pocket model of this. They were made from 1851 to 1857, so actually a surprisingly long time. The Massachusetts Arms Company that made these was working on some other ideas at the same time. They came out with some other guns as well. They were really struggling financially to keep the company in existence until 1857, when finally Colt's patents on things like the hammer automatically rotating the cylinder finally expired. And then anyone could design guns using those features, and a lot of people, including Massachusetts Arms Company, immediately did. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly wasn't expecting to see this updated version of the Wesson & Leavitt, and it's pretty cool to take a look at one. If you'd like to have it yourself, it is, of course, coming up for sale. If you check out the link in the text description below, that'll take you to Julia's catalog page about it. You can take a look at their pictures and their description, all of that sort of stuff. And if you're interested, you can place a bid online, or you could come up here to beautiful Maine and check it out in person. Thanks for watching.